they're going to be playing to stay in the playoffs. So it is must win for... Oh my God, it's 2. Us and them, and it's Pinamonti. Oh, this is a disastrous start. How's it going, everyone? My name is Stu and welcome to my Football Manager 2024 save here with Deportivo La Coruña. Thank you for joining me in today's video, which is part number 43, where we're going to be playing against Atletico Madrid in La Liga and then a game against Sassuolo in the Champions League. And if you are excited to see how we get on in both of those games today, don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me. And don't forget to subscribe as well. It's completely free to do so. You'll put a big smile on his face right here. What's not to love? If you haven't watched the channel before, welcome. Put your feet up, kick back, relax. Hope you have a lovely time while you're here. If you want to catch up with the save, good idea. Playlist above, go over there, then come back to this video so you can be all caught up with the shenanigans that's been going on in the now into 6 seasons of this save. So, if you've watched before, since you were last with us, well, it's still going very, very well. We're top of the league, clear by a point. We have lost a game now. It was against Barcelona, as one would expect it would be, because it's Barcelona. I mean, we did draw against Real Madrid earlier in the season, but the away game against Barcelona was a draw, which is good. Now, we were talking about the must-win games in the Champions League. All going to plan so far. Beat Porto 3-1, a Salvador hat-trick, beautiful, on his return to Portugal. And then we beat Mönchengladbach 5-1, which was an excellent result. Danny Boedo really coming into his own in that one. He got a couple. Hlajek got a couple on his return from injury. And Onyeka got a goal as well. Onyeka has been putting in a good occasional performance when he's been getting into the team. Hlajek has come back into the team after his injury like a man possessed. He's been brilliant. And Stoichkos is really starting to get to grips with his attacking midfield role as well. It's all coming up Millhouse, quite frankly. We've also had a number of clean sheets in the league, 3 in a row, which is a beautiful thing to see. Which means, as things stand, that's how we're looking. We've got the 3rd best goals for and the 3rd best, in fact, the best goals against. That's alien to us that we've got the best goals against. We do currently have Carnesecchi being the head of the clean sheets. We've also got the best 3 players in the league. We've kept the core of this squad together. We've added to it. And it's starting to pay dividends. Salvador's the top goal scorer. Hlajek and Furic and Salvador are the 3 best players. The only thing we don't have is someone on the top 3 of assists, but Hlajek is not far behind there. Furic and Ramon Maria are both on that list as well, which is good to see. It's all looking really, really good. I am expecting us probably to have a drop-off in the second half of the season because I think we have got depth in the squad, but the depth is definitely not of the quality of the rest of the team. We also keep getting these niggly injuries. So Miranda's out of this game. Vandenberg is out of this game as well. So we are having to contend with that kind of stuff. Veloso is now a fully fledged defensive midfielder. He's not completely there yet, but he's good enough that he can be 2.5 star there. Apparently he'd be better as a deep line playmaker. I like him getting further forward personally. I think he just does a better job and it hasn't at the moment compromised us defensively. So I'm really happy with how that's going. Also the board, they offered me a meeting to discuss potential improvements with the transfer budget for the remainder of the season. We had the meeting, we agreed to it. Do you want to see the amount that the board agreed to after having a meeting? Yeah, that's it. That's all they offered. Not even £1 million. So I am probably going to just whack all of that into wage budget. It doesn't really do a lot, to be fair. I might keep a little bit of it in that case. It's a pointless amount. I don't even know why we bothered, but we've got the money anyway. Financially, it's actually the worst season we've had at the club for a while. Remember, we've spent big this summer. I've talked about this a little bit. I think this coming summer, I'm thinking ahead now to season 7, we are going to have to be very careful with the transfer budget that we get. At the end of this season, apparently we'll have a budget of around, well, apparently next year's season we're going to have £12.4 million. I think we might have to have a player sale or two. And we're going to have to think of who can we sell on, and then we replace them, and then add to other positions. The positions we need to add to, in my opinion, I'm also struggling with the burp there. Although defensively we're doing very well this season, it's defence. Herculano is going to be one of the stars of this defence. Akoli can stick around. He's a good player. He's a good defender. But we have noticed that Vandenberg has dropped down to 2.5 stars. He's 26 years old, he's still got time, but there is a bit of interest being shown in him. I would not be against him leaving the club if we get around £30 million for him, because we can replace him for 15 with a good player, and maybe if we're happy, we can do that, but then we'd possibly be putting more in on instalments. So it's a difficult one, but we can replace him if we do sell him. So we'll see what happens in January. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that necessarily. We're here to talk about the game. And this is the 11 we're going to be using for the game against Atletico Madrid away from home. And Atletico Madrid currently in 10th place in La Liga. So they're not having it all their own way. It is Karnasecchi in goal. Martinez, Akoli, Herculano and Ilic in defence. Veloso and Bietic in the middle with Maria, Stoichkos and Hojek supporting Salvador up front. We have had injuries to players. So we have... got a couple of players who are kind of missing. Furic has had the knock, so he's just coming back into the team. He actually scored with a penalty in his last game, so he's definitely going to be getting some game time today, he says. Can't really call it, but I'm going to assume he's going to be getting some game time. And I forgot that. I do this every single time. When I'm playing in between bids, I just enjoy playing it on 2D for some reason. It just helps me get through it a little bit quicker. And sometimes I remember to take it off, and sometimes I don't. Today was the latter. But we're into the game, and apparently we're starting off with the shots and the match momentum, which is good to see. Again, Atletico Madrid have really slipped. They've been the also-ran team along with us to both Barcelona and Real Madrid in this save so far. So they've had a real drop-off from the looks of things. So they're going to probably be looking to get their season into gear, and they nearly get a goal there to kind of get it going. But yeah, real bit of a shock to see Atletico Madrid that far down. But yeah, we need to look at the squad and we need to look at what we want to do for... I'm trying to plan what we're going to do transfer-wise quite early. I think defensively we're good, but we can do better. And I'm looking at the central defence. Herculano, he's a defender for the future. I do think we need to kind of find someone to go alongside him who is as good with as good an upside. So someone who's younger but has got potential. Or we look for a superstar and we try and get them on a bargain. I don't know how likely that is, but... anything's possible in Football Manager. The midfield is fine. I've got no issues with the midfield. We probably need a permanent holding midfielder who's a backup for Bietic. But other than that, it's fine. Hojek coming very, very close there. Again, Hojek, I forgot how much of a menace he is. And actually looking at him, he is a good striker. So, I mean... even Azone has not been a very, very good backup striker. I've got a feeling Azone might end up getting sold. We might just have Hojek be winger and backup striker. And we might have to do something like that because the zone has been a bit of a fail. I'm quite content on loaning him out in January if we can get someone else in who can maybe be another wing option just to give us an extra bit of cover while we try and do that. I'm just going to encourage the boys here because we have let the momentum slip a little bit in this game. We are away from home here, so it wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world if we lost this game, but I'd quite like not to lose it. I'd quite like us to actually do a decent job and get minimum a draw from this game, but if we do lose it, it's not the end of the world. What on earth happened there? The attacker, I think, should be ashamed of himself because he should have been aware to that, but he clearly wasn't. And it remains 0-0. Very, very even game. Match momentum has been a little bit split. Atletico Madrid have the better XG, but we've got equal amounts of shots on and off target. We've actually edged the match momentum there as well. I'm going to say the passing's been good. We do need to get a bit better in the attack. And we need to try and do something about that. I've just been talking to Plojek and, well, he's put in that first half. We've got to be careful with Ilic because Ilic played really well in the last game, actually, but he's currently our only left back because of injury. I'm going to tell Martinez I'm not happy with him. I'm going to try and G a couple of these players up and just get them going a bit more. But again, a 0-0 I don't think is the worst result in the world away from home. But with how we've been playing recently, I would like us to get a win. I think it would be good, especially with how Atleti have been struggling. But then it is Atleti, so they could still come back and do a decent job. Right, this is all from kickoff here. Martinez looking for Maria, who really has been inconsistent, but it's crossing, looking for Stoichkos, doesn't find it, but it comes down to Hojek, and Hojek hits the post. I think it's going to be one of those games. We've had chances to put the ball in the back of the net, and we're getting... I'm going to say unlucky. We have been unlucky in some instances, but you also do kind of make your own luck, and we're not at the moment. So we need to kind of work a little bit harder in front of goal, I think, because we're having these chances. Right, Salvador with the free kick out wide, looking for Bietic, doesn't find him. Herculano flicks it back, looking for someone. It comes out as Ilic. Maria goes through Maria. Now is Stoichkos. Probably going to be the end of the highlight, I would say. It's carrying on for a moment. Ilic going out wide here, looking for support. He's not really got it. Bietic now going backwards again. Again, probably the end of the highlight here. Herculano. No, Ilic now. Ilic cuts inside. Goes past his man, Herculano. We're keeping possession here quite well. Akoli into Veloso. Veloso to Salvador. Salvador had room there, but Maria's in. He tries to chip Oblak, and somehow it does not go in, and Lorente ends up clearing it. Wow. Again, it just feels like one of those games. We're not meant to get a goal here. They've put like a charm on their goal or something, because we have had some great chances, and they're just not going between the sticks. Slightly unfortunate, right? Stoikers going out wide to Hlajek. Hlajek looking to get the ball in. Goes to the byline into Salvador. And there is 1-0. And we go ahead. It's Salvador in a big game. Say big game. Again, they're in 10th place, but it is still Atletico Madrid. And we take the lead in the 60th minute. Stoikers is doing a great job as a playmaker, by the way. I had doubts about him doing it. I thought he was going to be more of an attacking midfielder, but he's doing a really, really good job. Lovely ball to Hlajek. And Hlajek, who we were playing on the right before his injury, we put him on the left for a bit while we're waiting for Fjuric to recover, and he's done a really, really good job. The thing is as well, though, we know that Fjuric, because he has played there quite a lot, can play on the right-hand side. So Maria's not doing the best work of his career, I assume. We can easily put Fjuric on the right. Hlajek can play there. He's a good player over there as well. We've got plenty of options. Right, substitute o'clock. Veloso is tiring. I mean, his stamina's relatively high. He's putting a lot of work in, so we are going to have to watch him. And as such, I'm going to take him off for Litskas, who, again, is a natural in that position, and he'll be a little bit more conservative with his energy. So we're going to do that. I'm going to take Maria off because he's not had a very good performance. Going to bring on Fjuric, and again, he will go on the... Yeah, do you know what? We'll swap him and Hlajek around. We'll put Fjuric on the left-hand side, give him some game time over there, where we focused him this season. We'll leave it at that for now, and we'll see what those two can do. So we've got someone in the middle who's going to try and help defensively as well as offensively, and someone who's just going to try and give them a bit more to worry about in the attack. And we'll also be moving Hlajek over just to try and make things a bit more difficult. But there is an equaliser. Atletico Madrid have put it in just after we've done the substitution. That is a little bit gutting. Again, I said I would take a draw from this game, but we've shown enough to actually get a win in this game, and it is quite frustrating that we are letting them do this. Marcao gets it to Drashkov into Ocampos. Ocampos just manages to beat the defenders there and gets it past the goalkeeper. We are going to do that. We are going to continue doing what we're doing with our tactics, and we're just going to tell them to push on a little bit more. Ilic not had a great game here. Herculano as well not had a great game. Bit disappointing. We're going to go attacking for the last few minutes. Let's just see whether we can push past them, and let's see whether we can make a final change, which is going to just hopefully push us over the line. I'm going to bring on Navarro, and I think we're going to take off Ilic, and I mean, the problem is we've only got Valentin Gomez to bring on. We don't have Miranda. I think Gomez would do a decent... He'd be fine, I'm sure, but the yellow card on Ilic has me worried. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And Hlajek's tiring as well, but he has had a decent game, so I'm a bit reluctant to take him off. I don't really know what I want to do as another change. I really don't know. Fjuric is struggling a little bit. I'm going to move Hlajek back over to the left-hand side. We'll put Fjuric on the right where we know he can do a good job. Bietic is tiring. I'm going to bring on Ozcan purely for the fact that he's tiring, and Ozcan will just bring a little bit more energy into the middle. Right. Fire up, boys. Last few minutes. Let's try and get a winner. We've ended up dominating them, but they defensively... I don't know, have they done a good job, or have we just been unlucky? I think we've been a bit wasteful and unlucky here today. But a point is not the end of the world against Atletico Madrid's side. It's really, really not. But we might have a late chance here. Fjuric with a deep free kick, looking for Hlajek, cannot find him. Ozcan's going to get on the end of the ball here. We have got barely any time left. He's gone past his man. He's gone backwards. Why did he go backwards, Ozcan? Why did you go backwards? Cross it in. Litskas. Into Gomez. Are we going to get a chance here? Salvador is there! Salvador is there! Ah! Salvador is there! It's 2-1! In the 96th minute of 95. I was criticising Ozcan. I was a little bit critical of him, but he got it to a more creative player. Ball into Gomez, who was just not a confident substitution whatsoever. He's the backup. And he puts the ball in, and Salvador gets a second, and it is 2-1, and we get past a very dogged Atletico Madrid side. We played well. It was just our finishing that was letting us down. It ended up not mattering because we just kept going. And that puts us, with a game played more than Real Madrid and Barcelona, 4 points clear. that is the kind of results that I think we needed. Scrappy. Very, very happy with that. Salvador is knackered though. That's the only problem with him at the moment. He's absolutely shattered. And I don't have the confidence in us on to put him on as a starter. So we do have to contend with that. Just going to move you two around because Gomez, even though we got an assist in that game, he's actually got 2 assists for us at the moment. So I'm probably worrying about nothing. The problem with Azan is I just don't trust him. He hasn't scored for us yet. And I just don't trust him from the start. Because again, Champions League. I still feel like Champions League is a must win. We're currently on 11 points. But there's teams on 8 points where if they win their games, they'll potentially go ahead of us. And I'd like to get into that green zone this year rather than have to go through the playoff again. So again, I consider this with the 2 games we've got coming ahead. Because remember, we've got Barcelona, inexplicably, and then Inter as our final 2 games. This game against Sassuolo is a little bit must win. Or at least I think it is anyway. So I really feel like we can't afford to rest Salvador. We can afford to rest Salvador after this game. But yeah, we're going to have to play him, I think. We're just going to have to do it. Right, and to go away, 3 days' time, we'll be back for Sassuolo. And fingers crossed, we can get that win that we think that we're going to need if we want to go through to the proper knockouts rather than the playoffs. Back for the game against Sassuolo in the Champions League phase. I still hate the fact that it's a league rather than group. Why did they change it? What? I hate it so much. Just one big group and you play randomly. Anyway, that's not the point. We're here for a game in that league structure. And if you watched my videos before, you're probably aware of my feelings on the new Champions League structure. And the fact that I hate it. Why? Why one big league? Just why? It's rubbish. Anyway, I'm going to get over myself and we're going to play this game against Sassuolo. And we're going to try and hopefully get through to give ourselves a better chance to get through to the knockouts proper rather than the playoffs, which we went out in last season. I've just made one very quick adjustment. So this is the 11 we're going to be playing with for that. In fact, it's not because Hlojek is not fully fit, which is really disappointing because I would like to start with him. I'm going to play Boedo instead. Right. This is now the 11 after those changes for the game against Sassuolo. It is Carnesecchi in goal, Martinez, Akoli, Herculano and Ilic in defence, Veloso and Bietic in the middle with Maria Navarro and Boedo supporting Salvador up front. Who did we sign Carnesecchi from? Nowhere near Sassuolo. Never mind. I just saw Italian team. I thought, oh, we got an Italian player. It's a stupid thing to think. Right. Let's just ignore that. Let's just go into the game and hopefully get 3 points. That'd be lovely. Let's see whether we can do that. So, they, and by they I mean Sassuolo, are actually doing quite well in the Champions League as well this season. I'm sure we'll see when the table comes up here. In fact, let me get into the actual game proper and we'll see it come up on the table over here. Or at least they thought they were. No, they're doing pretty badly. Never mind, ignore me. I'm sure I saw something that said that they were doing well, but maybe I overestimated what the league position was. But they're obviously not doing that well, which is why, of course, the first highlight is them just playing through us. Although if we can intercept them, which we can't, that's annoying. The other thing that concerns me greatly as well is, and this is someone I actually did consider signing at one point, they have got Andrea Pinamonti in their team. Now, this is going back to last year, but there is a save on the channel from FM23 called My Career, and at one of the stops, it's like your typical journeyman save on FM. One of the stops was at Southampton, and we signed Pinamonti to be our striker, and my word, what a striker he was. And of course, it's not him who scores the first goal, it's Tresoldi, who I think I also signed in that save as well. I signed a number of players, to be fair. I think I signed him the season I left Southampton. I recognise the name. But Sassuolo actually take a shock lead here. And, well, we need to pull ourselves together because that's a little bit embarrassing with how we've been playing. It really is. They've actually been battering us since the game started. And I'm a little bit angry about it. Right, Bietic has had enough. He's got the ball. He's going on a run here. Gets it to Salvador. Bietic. He did have Boedo running outside of him. He's carried on here, Bietic. Looking to get the ball back to someone a bit more creative. Ilic back to Bietic into Boedo. Ilic has scored a pile driver for us. Doesn't score one there. Disappointing start. We're going to have to go attacking here because, Again, I'm considering this. Considering those last 2 games, I am considering this must win. The more points we can get on the board before we get to those final 2 games against Barcelona and Inter, the better. Right, Navarro now. Looking for ways to get into the box here. I'm sure he's going to go for a shot here. He has done. He's put it wide. We need to not be panicking with the shooting like that. I mean, I've put us on attacking, so I'm probably the reason why we're doing it. But we need to be a bit more careful. Right, corner to Sassuolo. And of course, they're going to be playing as well because they're at the bottom of the playoff zone. They're going to be playing to stay in the playoffs. So it is must win for... Oh my God, it's 2. Us and them, and it's Pinamonti. Oh, this is a disastrous start. This is an absolutely disastrous start. They've been all over us. They have. Right, well. I'm shouting at the boys straight away. That is a horrendous start. That's so deflating. Their 4-4-2 is all over us at the moment. Okay, momentum's getting a little bit more in our favour now. Veloso with a free kick. He's gone for it. Right, I'm going to put work ball into the box. We're having shots here, but we're not really doing anything with them. Let's try and just get the ball into the area. You've got a great striker in Salvador. Let's try and get the ball to him so he can try and put the ball in the back of the net. Let's try and control things a little bit better. Right, ball forced to Boedo. Maria manages to get it. What was that? What was the point of that as a highlight? Goodness me. Right, well. That's about as bad as that first half can go. Still got a highlight left. It's them in possession again. This is about as bad as this first half could have gone for us. Right, Bietic, he intercepts, but then we give the ball away straight away. We need to be pressing them more. I think we're going to have to look at some... Oh, my God. Right. Bietic, that was pathetic. Right, Veloso. Can't get the ball to Boedo. We are struggling to pass out here. And they're just getting on us, and that could have been 3. That could have been even worse there. Right, well. Thrash in the arms. I'm going to tell a bunch of you that you're playing awfully. I mean, the defence is having a shocker. Almost everyone. Apart from Boedo, ironically. Right, you're all playing badly. Right, first thing we're going to do. We're not going to regroup. We're going to counter-press them. Try and get the ball off of them. I think that makes the most sense to do. Second thing I'm going to do, we're going to go distribute to the fullbacks because the 2 strikers is going to be making it difficult to get us to the playmaker. So we're going to do that. I'm going to keep trapping on the outside on. I don't think they've done us in with crosses. You watched, I probably have now and I've just forgotten about it. I'm going to take work into the box off. We're going to do some whip crosses for a bit. And then personnel. We're going to change some personnel and see what we can do. I'm going to bring Klajek on even though he's not fully fit. Boedo, he's going to stay on. I'm going to take Maria off. My Wi-Fi is going crazy for some reason. We're going to do that. I'm tempted to bring Furic on, but I want to give Boedo a chance because he's actually been one of the better players. I'm going to take Navarro off. Stoikers has been good recently. Let's give him a game. I'll keep the guys in the middle the same for now. But Herculano's had a poor one, so Vandenberg is going to come back in. Why Vandenberg? Why is Vandenberg upset? I don't really understand why he... I mean, his morale there is fine. Why is it so bad there? I mean, because he's apprehensive. Right, well, we'll make those 3 changes and we'll see whether that's going to help us in any way, shape or form. Right, we motivated him and then the other 2, we'll motivate them as best as we can. And then we're just going to tell the boys to fire up. Has a rough first half. A really rough first half. Right. Salvador. Don't need him to do it on his own. He just needs to pass it to players and let them do their jobs. But they need to actually do their jobs. Right. Coley. They're doing a really good job of marking Veloso actually here and stopping him from getting the ball. Right. Karnasechi. Go out to here. Get out to here. Ilic is wide open. But we're going to go this side where they're all pulled to. Coley. Martinez. Karnasechi. Right, Karnasechi needs to see Ilic here. Right, Bietic, can you see him? No, we're still going down this road. Determined to go down this right-hand side at the moment. Okoli, Martinez. We need to start making some progress here. Right, Hlajek. into Stoikers. Lovely work there from the two of them. Stoikers does well to keep the ball. Now we get wide to Ilic. Ilic now whipping it in, looking for the header. Hlajek, and it's close. It's just wide. But we get to that left-hand side. What was I saying? We need to get to that left-hand side. Once we get there, we've got a chance. I'm actually going to try and focus our play down there for a little bit. Let's see if we can just get something going down that way. Let's just see if we can do it. Right, demand more from the boys. Come on. What a game Sassuolo have had today, by the way. What a game it's been for them. Right, we're stepping things up, but we need to score a goal. We kind of need to score it now for it to have anything to kind of help with. I mean, the problem is Hlajek. We're going to put him up front. Hlajek's doing okay, but Salvador's had a really, really poor game. But that's going to give us the opportunity to bring on Furic. So we're going to do that. I can't really do anything else at the moment because we've got one sub left after that because we made 3 at half time. Right, demand more from the boys. Defence has had a shocking game. We are playing so much better in this half, but we're not getting the chances on highlight. Right. We're going to go a bit dramatic here because we have to. We absolutely have to. Again, my internet is going nuts. And I don't know why. My internet's annoyed at this game. Right. You two can come further forward. You can be a central midfielder on defence. You two can come further forward. In fact, you know what? Keep you as a half-back. Bit of defensive cover. That's the game playing here, by the way, which is, as we know, is a very dangerous thing to do. Right, wing back on support. Take whip crosses off. Go back to mixed. Let's play out of defence off. I think we've lost this game. And again, I don't think it's a disaster that we lose this game, but this was a real opportunity. And I don't think this lot are better than the other two that we beat. I don't think they're better than Mönchengladbach. I don't think they're better than, was it Porto? Yeah, Porto. I don't think they're better than them either. I don't really know why we've suffered so much in this game. We really have though, right. They are still coming forward and really trying it. Oh, we've given away a sloppy penalty. It's Danny Boedo as well. It's a really sloppy penalty to give away. It's born out of frustration, that is. And we've been battered 3-0 here. I know it hasn't gone in, but it's going to be 3-0. Oh, this is a reality check, isn't it? Right, it's Pinamonti. Kind of said she went the right way, but Pinamonti makes it 3. I'm berating the team because this has been such a poor game from us. I mean, we've had some poor games before, and this is probably not the worst game that we've had, but we've been on such a good run. And we've been coming back into the half. We've been playing better than for the majority of the second half, and then we give away a sloppy penalty. And now what's going to happen is we're going to score a goal here. It's going to be 3-1, and we're going to be like, well, what's happened there? Carnesecchi, the entire defence has been so bad today. Oh, we can't even score a goal. We can't even score a goal properly. Oh, I've still got a final substitution. I mean, there's no point in making it at this point. There's really not. I'm tempted to take Carnesecchi off. That would be bold. The thing is, I've got the substitution. I don't even know what I can do. I don't even know what I can do at this point. I'll bring on Yeka on. There's no point. There's nothing you can do. We've got no time left. I'm not even going to give him a team talk. There's no point. Ooh, yikes. That was a bad one. That was a really bad one. 3. I mean, that is such a... Carnesecchi's been on such a good run of games, and then he's had that. I'm throwing the water bottle at the boys. That I don't even care if they're annoyed at that. That was such a bad game. I mean, I know Salvador's tired. I'm willing to forgive Salvador. He's shattered. He's not playing against Getafe. We're giving him a break. But that is such a poor game from some of these players. I mean, Carnesecchi, a 6.2 is absolutely woeful. And he doesn't... Right, well, I'm going to have to back down on that, which is really annoying, but that was woeful from him. The entire team were woeful, quite frankly. No one kind of covered themselves in glory. Now, what does that actually mean for the Champions League? Well, as it stands, We're still in the top 8. But Napoli have not played game number 6. Neither have Lille, Arsenal, Rennes, Leverkusen, or Roma. All of whom are on 8 points. All of whom, if they win their games, can go on 11 points and drop us out of the top 8, which means we wouldn't get into the main knockout stage. That's where that leaves us. Which is not good. It's not good, really. I mean, that's a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5, and then 6 up there. So 6 teams. So we could be 14th once they've all played their games. And we could be fighting for our future in the Champions League, kind of like we were last season. Again, normally I would say I wouldn't be too worried. I'd be annoyed, but I wouldn't be too worried. The reason why I'm worried is the main reason is that draw against Galatasaray. If we get 2 more points out of that, I'm not as worried. But we beat Lille, that's great. We draw against Galatasaray, fine. We draw against Arsenal in a game we really should have won, if you remember from the last episode. Then we get those 2 wins there. If we win 1 more game, we're golden, I think. That's such a heavy loss. How are Sassuolo doing? They're 9th in Serie A. Where did that performance come from them? But also, where did that performance come from us? Because we've won 5 in a row since losing against Barcelona. Where did that performance come from us? In all of the worst ways. Right. I'm a bit wound up. And a little bit concerned because I had that kind of in my head, naively chalked off as that's going to be a win. So that really puts emphasis on these 2 games. Probably the home game against Inter is going to be the one. Again, it's going to be down to the last game. I don't know how much of it. I mean, we've got 6 points to play with. 6 points to play with. Where are we? We're on 11 points. Basel are on 7. Basically, any team that's got 5 points or more can go above us. There is a risk that we could, if we lose both of our games, and like Chelsea, if all of these teams and Chelsea and Basel and Braga win all of their remaining games, there is a real risk, especially Chelsea because they've got another game in hand as well. There is a risk we could get leapfrogged by all of these teams if we lose both of those games. That Champions League pair of games has got an even bigger importance now. Right. I think we're going to come back for the end of the transfer window. Inter and maybe Valencia. Yeah, let's do that. We'll come back for those 2 games. 2 very difficult games, but let's come back for them. And fingers crossed, maybe we can pull off a miracle against Barcelona and then maybe we can do the business against Inter. We're going to have to if we want to get through to the Champions League and not rely on other results. At the moment, it's not even about getting through to the knockouts. It's about staying in the Champions League beyond the group stage. I don't think the board are that bothered about how we do. They just want us to be competitive. They're not necessarily saying we have to qualify for the knockouts. That's definitely a positive. It's only our 2nd loss of the season, but that feels huge. That feels absolutely huge. Right, I'm going to go away and lick my wounds. We'll come back at the end of the transfer window and fingers crossed we can find a way to navigate through to the knockout rounds of the Champions League. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, please do not forget to leave a like on there for me, and also don't forget to leave a subscribe as well. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and it puts a big smile on this face right here. I've been Stu, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.